Hello everyone, KM4FPA here, and I wanted to talk to you today about Baofeng accessories. Uh, this $30 radio was my starter radio, and I imagine a lot of people start a radio because it's $30, and it's a great intro into the hobby. A hobby that you're going to find that there's 1,000 things to buy, and there's just another radio that you always want. But if you're smart, you're going to stick with this for a little while, and you can explore antennas, you can explore batteries, mics, even digital modes. So let me go ahead and show you a couple of things. We'll start with what I got in the mail today. I get a lot of my things from eBay. Uh, it's the external mic. If you've used this at all yet, you realize that you might have to eat the mic whenever you're talking to it. Talk really loud and right up to it. So the biggest complaint that I've ever received is I just didn't have a loud voice transmission. This external mic solves that. So the jacks on the side, you have 2.5 millimeter for the speaker and 3.5 for the mic. Yeah. So plug it in. It's a little red light with it, works nifty. One nice thing it also has is a speaker jack on it, so you can use a second pair of headphones and you can listen to them while you're transmitting. If you're going to do that though, I recommend grabbing one of these things. It's a mono to stereo adapter. So if you've already plugged in headphones, you realize that you probably only hear it out of the left ear, and this adapter sends signal to both left and right. So it's just easier to hear. So that's the external mic. Definitely a great buy. I got this for about $7. Another thing that I really enjoy that I've gotten with this is the larger battery. One night I was checking into the net, and I couldn't figure out why they couldn't hear me well. Next thing I know, I look at the radio, and the battery died. Because these things have a battery indicator, but they're not that accurate. Once it says 2 bars, you can probably assume that your battery's gone. So if you get the 3,800 milliamp hour battery, it's a great second battery. I think I got this for about $20, and it takes like 10 to 12 hours to charge it. But then, at least on standby, I've had my radio on for over 3 days, and it's a great battery. So, plus it looks nifty. Radio just kind of feels a little bit fuller in your hand whenever you have a larger battery on it. And then let's talk about antennas, because we have the Stubby, which is the lowest quality antenna of all the ones that I have, but it still works, and it's nice because, especially with the smaller battery, Stubby on there, it's just a smaller radio. You can throw it in your pocket a lot easier, and it's the preferred smallest way to carry it, but not the best way to transmit your audio or hear anything. So far, the best acting antenna that I have is the Nagoya NA771. I've just ordered the 701, which somebody recommended. It's better for just UHF. But this works great on VHF, since the two are resonant frequencies. Antennas on one work well on the other. So the highest gain antenna that I've found with this is the NA771. Plus it looks nifty and much more like a radio. Although all the other ones work just as well. Especially the stock antenna that comes with it. I normally stay with this. But antennas, probably the second or third thing that I buy after the battery and external mic. Definitely increase the usefulness of the radio and the performance of it. A lot better quality checks whenever you ask somebody how your audio is sounding. They say a lot better once I was using the external mic, and especially with the larger antenna, or the whip antenna. Size of the antenna doesn't matter. Obviously, it needs to be cut for the right frequency. But let's see, what else do I want to show you? This little pigtail. I was wanting to connect the radio to the computer. If you ever want to try digital modes, you need to do that. And the speaker, as I just said earlier, is 2.5 millimeters. So it's smaller than a regular headphone jack. So you can buy a little pigtail, 2.5 millimeters to 3.5 millimeters. 2.5 male, 3.5 female. And then you can plug in headphones or anything else to your radio. Just be aware that I've noticed these radios, whenever you do have headphones on, they make a loud pop. So you can't turn the volume up too loud without making you feel like you're going to go deaf. You also have two headsets. One that usually comes with the Baofeng, and this I found works really well. You can try it out because if you have a radio, you probably already have a headset. So try this out. It's nifty if you like headsets. Before I'd gotten this, the first radio I got actually didn't have one of those. Got one of the clear tube FBI headsets, they call them. It was the cheapest one. And, I don't know. Other than having all these clips and it getting really, really tangled, it works well because the way that it transmits the audio or sends it over this tube, I think the actual the speakers in here, and the sound just travels through the tube to your ear. It cuts out that loud popping noise that you have with a regular pair of headphones. So if you want to try one of these, sure. And any other normal accessories to talk about? Stubby antenna, long whip antenna, stock antenna, extra batteries, the data cable. That should be the first thing that you get with your radio. Programming in all of the additional frequencies for all the repeaters around you, you'll find is probably the best way to find other people using the radio, and it's so much easier if you have this little USB to the speaker headphone jack. That's how it connects to the computer. You can use a program called Chirp. If you look at videos, you can find definitely several that show you how to program that radio with Chirp and this data cable. So get one of these. Definitely use it. And then, if you're being a bit more adventurous, let's talk quickly about antennas and adapters, or connectors. It's, you should really just get a bag of 10. They're SMA female adapters. What that is, it's radio itself is SMA male. There's a little pin sticking outside of it. You have the SMA female, which looks like that. I'm assuming it's in focus and you can see it. And it has a little pin that you solder onto the tip of your wire and then slide it in here. So these are great if you ever want to make your own antennas, which are really cheap and easy to do. Right now, my main antenna is just a piece of copper wire that's been cut with 4 ground plane radials, and it's on top of a PVC tower. It cost all of maybe $6 to build, and it increased the performance drastically because you'll realize with antennas, the higher up they are, the better they work. So you get one of these connectors and some RG58. It is the cheapest and easiest way that you can explore the antenna side of this hobby. Make sure when you do get these connectors that it is the SMA female for RG58, because they come in different sizes, and if you get the wrong one, you find your cable can't even fit in there. And if you've ordered them from China, it took 3 weeks to learn that. I may or may not be speaking from experience. Okay. Moving up a little bit, we have a SWR meter. And this is a Workman SWR meter. Works for VHF, UHF. And it has the PL259 adapters. So if you're going to get one of these, you also have to get another baggie of PL259s and make a pigtail. Or if you're weak about it all, you can buy one of these adapters online. Don't do that. Go ahead and buy them because it's a radio hobby and it's fun. That's what you're here for. So you can make one of these. You screw your radio. Screw it into the Workman, and then you can test any antenna by following directions. Probably make another video on this because looking online, directions for this were a little odd. It only has 3 buttons and a little knob. If you don't calibrate it and work it right, it just doesn't work, and you think you might have just wasted money. Again, maybe or maybe not from experience. Is there anything else that I should show you? Multiple radios are nice. However, biggest complaint that I have with the Baofeng is, I believe it's called selectivity. If I am transmitting even on a any frequency and it's nearby the other radio, it'll cut out the reception. So they don't do a good job of listening to one frequency if there's any powerful transmissions nearby. Whereas the mobile rig that I finally upgraded to, definitely I can listen to that while transmitting on the Baofeng and it doesn't skip a beat. So there you have it. Grab yourself a NA 701, so the 771. The 701 is a lot smaller and it will increase your antenna performance. Grab the 3800 milliamp hour battery and a data cable. These are probably the top things that I would recommend, as well as the external speaker or external mic, except that this adds a whole other wire and calamity going on. So if you have audio problems, grab one of these. If you just want to like clip it on because it's fun, you can do that. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for now. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, take a look at more. KM4FPX.